Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to another episode of an honestly very hard challenge. In the last episode, we discovered that a divine trio was watching over our tribe right now. Comet, the god of sacrifice, was the first to be reborn beneath the branches. But then we had Moon Eye's champion Celestite, and of course now we have Nickole, who seems to be governed by Melody in a way. At the very least, I'm sure that Melody has taken a shining to this creature, not only because of her striking albino appearance, but also because of the vengeance that she carries in her soul. Her family has been essentially poisoned by that vengeance for so long that it's no wonder she demands such attention. And then of course there's Baron, who has been receiving omen after omen. He actually found this termite hill off in the grasses over here, the one single thing in the darkness that drew his eye. It was red, of course, so he took that to mean something terrible, and now he's seen this piranha fish too. It's almost as if the earth and the sea itself is begging him to leave this place. Maybe it knows that there's something terrible waiting in his future too, though for now he's just worried about his daughter. To be honest, he kind of assumes that this omen has something to do with Nickole. He's worried that she's going to put herself into danger. So I think he's very, very happy to leave this place behind. He's going to go with Bandersnatch now and go meet his newest little baby. First, let's just make sure that nothing is spawned out here in the meantime. It looks like we had another pretty quiet night because all I heard was the mole popping out of his burrow. Interestingly too, it actually looks like it's staring directly at you, Sheba, so you're going to have to wait a few beats longer before you jump into pounce. That's probably all well and good anyways. Comet has actually just seen a clown koi, and he's determined to follow it. He is a little bit small though, so I suppose this could be rather risky. I think he'll be okay if he leaps down to the ocean right here, as long as no leeches find him anyways. But that still has to be very, very shocking for his older siblings. They've never seen him so determined before. I mean, there was the mole and all, but that was a bit different. This is something that he's almost frantically searching for. So Coca-Cola, why don't you go ahead and grab this extra coconut for us, and then we'll have you leap over to the other side? Well, it looks like maybe about here would probably be the best place. You can settle down inside the nest for a little while to rest. Of course, Romeo would be the last creature to stir into action. He's probably a little bit too distracted by the water still. Do you think he loves swimming so much because he can just gaze at his reflection all day? I wonder if that's exactly what he's doing right now. Well, Cherubel, luckily you have 3 turns because you were sitting beneath the shade, so that means you should be able to scoot easily around this coconut tree. I guess we'll have you settle down right next to your brother, just to make sure that he's going to be okay. And look at this, our little clown koi is watching still. It looks like he's trying to make sure that Comet is following. It kind of makes me wonder if maybe Celestite herself has sent this clown koi out to greet him. Maybe she can sense his presence on the island, or maybe Moon Eye herself has even whispered her in dreams. So she's waiting pretty patiently by the shores too. Smoke, of course, has pretty much no idea what's going on. But look at all these fish. Oh, Smoke, if only you had a claw, you would have a feast on your hands right now. I suppose we could always have you go back here to check for that root again. Let's have you smell around as you jump over here. No, looks like the root isn't back yet. It's not a little bit deeper, right? Yeah, it definitely hasn't respawned, so you're going to want to stay by the shore just to make sure that Celestite is okay. You know, we still have not seen a single bluebird on this island. It's very, very strange. I guess the biggest thing we would have to be concerned with is the possibility for Berginas, but ever since we took care of the one beneath this tree, they haven't been too eager to find us again. So Luna, you better take this as your chance. Grab the extra coconuts too. And then I guess you'll probably want to make your way back home. You'll want to see if Bandersnatch was successful in his mission. It may have taken him a little bit longer than he hoped for because he was so concerned with this strange baby on the shore. To be honest, he didn't even realize that it was Baron's baby at all. But now that he can see Baron, he's very, very happy to lead him back. Interesting how this piranha hasn't moved an inch. Almost as if it's making sure that you're actually leaving this place, Baron. Let's make sure that you get your daughter across safely first, though. And thankfully, because of her lean body, she could actually jump all the way over to the shore. She doesn't even have to worry about getting her feet wet. Unfortunately, it's not the same for you, Baron. but you must be happy to be back in old familiar ground. It's not quite the Prophet's Tree, but it is the place where you had decided to make your home with Kaya, so it definitely holds some fond memories for you. You'll get the chance to see your first son again, and of course you'll get the chance to meet Celestite. So we could bring him all the way over here for now, and I guess that leaves Bandersnatch to guide Nickole up to the oasis. Well, he's probably casting some very nervous glances over his shoulder right now. Something about her just sets him off ease. For now, she's willing to ignore it though, and for now she's willing to part with the skeleton ports too. That doesn't mean she's going to forget about them though. This is still her destiny, or so she believes. But she is going to need to amass some sort of army if she wants to take it on properly, so I think that's probably what's in the back of her mind right now. She needs to find other very healthy and very, very strong creatures to protect her. Unfortunately, despite her speed, she's not going to be able to do very much damage against the hyenas herself. So that's why she's going to have to enlist the help of some other stronger creatures for her. Now I think all we have left is Sheba over here. And you know, you might actually be able to catch that mole now. Let's just wait one more turn. We'll have Clyde go ahead and pick his berries, and now you should be able to lunge in and grab this mole. There you go, little Sheba, you must be so proud of yourself, and Clyde is probably very proud of you too. We'll have him go ahead and gather up the meat for you, and give you a nice quick pat on the shoulder. Now you've completed your rite of passage too. So when she takes on her third and final gem, she can very proudly say that she's one of the few who have taken down the guardian mole. And that means she'll be ready to follow her mother on the next turn too. And as for you, Romeo, late as always, let's have you jump over to the other side of the stream. Now that you've realized that there seems to be a bit of a commotion going on, maybe you could investigate further, just to make sure that nothing dangerous is waiting in Comet's path. So far everything looks to be pretty good though. And aside from that, I guess Comet is going to have a little bit of extra energy on the next turn. Since he is sitting inside the water, he should be feeling very, very refreshed. Yeah, luckily he's in no danger of drowning. We would actually see that icon on him right now if he was. So that means we should be ready to go ahead and skip the turn. I guess we should probably come back here to Nickole again. With her striking appearance, it also should be noted that she could very easily attract hyenas to their camp. It's not going to be the easiest thing to live with if we do go to the Deadly Hills next. So it'll be interesting to see if she'll be able to survive out there at all. Well, all things considered, it looks like everything is quiet tonight. So let's go back to Comet, I guess. With his 2 turns, he should be able to jump right ahead of Romeo. Unless maybe Romeo lights his way a little bit more. We could have him come right up to the edge of the oasis again. Oh, to find some berries. Excellent. A nice little snack for you to indulge in as you gaze down at your reflection again, because unfortunately you won't be able to do any fishing for us. That doesn't really help Comet though, because he's still going to have to worm his way through the grasses. But that being said, he is now very, very close to where Celestite is waiting, so she can probably really feel his presence now. We'll have Baron come over here too to meet the little baby, and he must just be in awe right now. As far as he knows, this is his first time coming into contact with a true deity, or a deity's champion anyway. I mean, she's definitely not a prophet, but that being said, he still believes that Nickole might have those powers. So maybe as he does his work over here, he would actually ask Nickole to gaze into the pond, to see if she can find any of those clown koi to give her a sign too. That means she'll actually have some extra time to spend right by Smoke's side, as he cleans up the grasses and looks for more roots. I wonder what he would think of his little sister. I mean, do you think he's unnerved by her too? He seems like a pretty laid-back creature to me, not the type to judge anybody too quickly. So no matter what he might be feeling right now, he would probably push it to the back of his mind. If anything, their distance might actually be created from Nickole herself. She's probably a bit too busy trying to search the waters for those clown koi to even spare him a second glance. Bandersnatch, however, he's still watching very curiously from the shadows. How different these two are. She can't hope to even blend in with the grasses, and that's kind of his style. Bandersnatch is all about sneaking. Sneaking was what originally drew him in Baron's direction in the first place. That was how Baron knew that he was going to be the right creature to help save his tribe. Or at least the right creature to help save what was left of his home. which still hasn't been too much. We still haven't found a single previous member of his tribe, so they must have truly all moved on to the burning savannah. But I guess we might as well bring Bandersnatch over here. He could rest beneath the shade of the tree for a little while too. As Lumina looks for one more of those coconuts, maybe? I don't think we can sense them right now, though. It looks like this tree is actually starting to run out of food. You could say that maybe that was the terrible omen that Baron was sensing. Some sort of famine that's going to sweep the tribe. It's not as though we have very much to work with right now anyways, so any lost food is a very big blow. But this is where I think Baron is starting to lose his touch. Blinded by the brilliance that is his daughter, he's so sure that every sign he sees from here on out has to have something to do with her. He's not even going to notice their dwindling food supplies. His sole purpose has become to raise his daughter to greatness, and while Celestite can still feel that pull off in the darkness, I think she's also going to find herself drawn to the Prophet. Moon Eye could sense death, remember? Death imminent in a tribemate's future. Maybe that's why Moon Eye's champion was even brought to the Silent in the first place. Maybe she can sense that there's some very big trouble brewing. But let's go back to Comet's family, because we want to make sure that Sheba can catch up before her mother disappears to the other side of the oasis. So let's have her jump all the way down to this nest. She can very, very proudly show her handiwork, of course. I wonder if she would even bring one of those tiny little antlers that the stagmoles have. Maybe she would actually carry that around as a trophy. Either that, or she would just have a pretty big feast to share with her mother. Let's bring Clyde over here too. I suppose we could probably have Coca-Cola grab one of these berries, but then she wouldn't have time to jump over to the other side. Yeah, we probably want her to keep up with Comet, don't we? Then again, I suppose Cherabo could jump over here instead. Yeah, he doesn't have to get his toes wet either, and that's probably all for the better too, thanks to his spiky body. So you can try your best to keep up with your little brother for now. You're actually a little bit more familiar with his antics anyways, so I guess that makes sense. We'll have Coca-Cola grab that berry, we'll have her jump into the water, and she should be feeling so much better tomorrow. Then as for you, Sheba, just come on over here, and then I think we should be ready to skip the day again. Oh, we just have Lumina? Yeah, are there any other berries that you could pick? We have this one over here, but there's probably not very many berries left, so maybe it's time for you to venture a little bit deeper into the darkness. We could bring you over here to the clearing and have you sniff around again? Anything at all? No, the food is really getting me worried. We're going to have to consider leaving very, very soon. I'm not sure if we're even going to last for 10 more days on this island. It would be very, very risky to stay. I guess if Lumina can convince Bandersnatch to stop spying on Nickole for a little while, maybe he could knock down some more of the coconuts for her. If we bring her back over here, there we go, it looks like one of the coconuts has actually fallen down, so Bandersnatch, jump on over here and knock down as many as you possibly can. There we go. So now your mate will at least have a little bit of food to collect, and you could actually help her on the next turn too. That's something that's best reserved for the creatures who actually have 3 turns, of course. So we'll have to make sure that he rests often beneath the shade of the tree. And did I just see that Comet has finally grown his 3rd and final gem? Just in time too, because I'm pretty sure that you could probably break through the grasses today. You're going to have to ask for Cherabo's help this time, because Romeo is going to be a little bit too busy picking his berries. So if Cherabo scoots up here, I wonder if maybe Coca-Cola could help too. Yeah, let's have her guide her daughter over to the other side, just so we don't have to worry about potential leeches anymore. And then Clyde, you could stay right by her side as well. We'll have Coca-Cola jump up here, and then if she moves ahead of Cherabo, that might actually completely light Comet's path. Yeah, he should be able to jump over here, and then land directly in front of Baron, directly in front of both Baron and Celestite. She would have a pretty knowing glint in her eye, I'd imagine. Even for such a little baby, she wouldn't be frightened at all. So as Baron maybe moves away in shock, Celestite will just tumble out of her nest right at Comet's feet. You got my message, I see. A very cryptic conversation for 2 complete strangers, or at least that's what Baron would assume of these 2. And all of this is sure to pique Nickole's interest as well. Actually, she would do well to introduce herself to Celestite anyways, since she is pretty strong. The Bergina Claw is going to be a super big help on the new island. I suppose it's probably Comet who would draw her eye more though. With the claw that he has on him and his 3 powerful gems, she knows that he's a force to be reckoned with too. So now that she's probably gotten bored of searching for these clown koi, maybe it's actually time for her to make her way over to the nest as well. Baron probably thinks that she's just interested in his work with so much going on right now. So we'll make a little bit of room for them. In fact, with such a big party about to settle beneath this tree, he probably realizes that they have quite a bit of tidying to do. So maybe he would call out to Smoke, since he is kind of an expert at this. We'll bring him over here for now though, so we can pick that. Oh, that's right, you actually have the no paw. So I guess you won't be picking any berries, but you can at least pick up the grasses around here instead. Oh, I thought maybe I saw a clown koi over here, but it looks like the fish are just on the move. Well, Comet should actually be able to do some pretty good fishing over here, shouldn't he? He should be able to grab 2 fish at a time as well with his claw. So that would be a pretty good time for Nickole to try to work him over to her side. And for now, I suppose she could always pick up the algae over here. Maybe that'll help Comet be able to see them a bit more easily, tearing away at the spaces where they could swim away and hide. Now as for you, Clyde, I think you're going to be a little bit disappointed with this land. We haven't really seen too many roots over here, so it's not as though you're going to have very many to dig up. We may have to find a different use for you, and maybe that'll even be with the coconuts. As long as we can make sure that you have enough energy, just like Bandersnatch, I suppose you could probably help by knocking down some of those coconuts as well. So I guess it's about time that we have Cherabo and Cocola meet the rest of the tribe too. Cocola, who is actually our little queen. Did we never change her over to the rank of an alpha? Well, there it is officially now, Cocola. Princess Cocola right next to her little brother Comet. The royal family may have made themselves distant, but they sure do carry quite a bit of authority. We should be ready to skip the turn again now, though. So let's go ahead and zoom out, and we'll make sure that the borders remain as quiet as before. Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody has followed them in from the other side of the oasis. But it does look like Celestite has her 2nd gem now. So I think we will actually give her a combination of both her mother's and her father's. The one in the middle will be that deep purple color, kind of to show her connection to the cycle of rebirth, like day and night and like life and death. 2 polar opposites, just like the siblings were in their time. But I think it's about time that Comet came over to the water side. Actually, if he's brave enough, we could probably have him sit inside the water again. I'm pretty sure that it's nice and calm over here, so he might be able to grab a few more fish this way. And of course, Nickole is going to be very, very impressed. That's something that she hasn't seen anybody on this side of the island do. That's actually something that's pretty unique to Romeo. So maybe the peacock even gave Comet the idea. Ooh, do I see a clown koi over here? Oh, Baron, they're trying again to get your attention. Let's have you come on over to the water's edge then. I suppose we could always try to scoop it up. It's going to be very, very difficult with your lack of fishing skill. But I guess that just proves that their messages are kind of falling on deaf ears right now. Of course, Celestite hasn't forgotten. She may have been distracted by Comet, but let's have her move right back to Baron's side. I wonder if she would have a little bit more luck if we bring her over here. Maybe on the next turn she can see if she can dip those Bergina claws in and grab that fish instead. Or if one of the other fish swarms moves over, that might be a better way for us to gather food. Now Bandersnatch, you go ahead and grab these coconuts for us. And then I suppose Lumina could jump in over here. She's still a little bit too wary to settle so close to the beach. But maybe Cocola could help her with that fear. Actually, wouldn't Lumina remember Cocola? Like, I vaguely remember, before Lumina went off in search of her mentor, I think Cocola was actually the baby who was still in the nest. Yeah, that would have to be, because I think Lumina was actually involved in the Bergina battle, the one that actually gave us the friendly Berginas so long ago. So it must be interesting to see her all grown up now. All grown up with her royal gems in tow, and with a little bit more experience under her belt too. So if we bring Cocola over here, she could actually grab that one extra little coconut for you, and I guess she'll probably have to grab this one too. In fact, I suppose you could just promise to watch her back. If any little leeches come swimming up your way, then she'll make sure that she picks them off of you before you take any damage. I think that's probably a pretty fair trade. Then I guess we could bring little Cherubel all the way over to the other coconut tree. Maybe he and Smoke could actually spend a little bit of time gathering the coconuts over here. We want to make sure that Sheba makes her way through the grasses first though, so she doesn't end up getting too lost. We'll bring Clyde right in front of her, and we'll have him clear out the grasses for easier access. Loyal knight as always. He's probably actually feeling a little bit silly about the whole situation. How he was so worried about where his place was in the tribe. Now he understands that there's really no use in chasing ghosts. His family is definitely gone now. With the remains of his parents, that was probably his cue to move on. So all that should be left is you, Smoke, and of course Nickole too. Let's have Smoke go ahead and clear out the grasses as well, I guess, since he doesn't have any roots. Oh no, Smoke, you do have a root over here! Oh, we should have checked before we moved you? Well, at least you'll be able to grab that on the next turn then, and then you can set up to do a little bit of work with Cherubel. And as for you, Nickole, now might be your one and only chance to whisper into Comet's ear. She knows exactly who you are. She knows what sort of strength you possess, and she knows that you would do wonderful things on the Deadly Hills. You could keep the whole tribe safe with that magical way of yours, providing us with plenty of oak trees to take shelter beneath. And as a god of sacrifice, wouldn't you do anything to make sure that your family is kept safe? Surely you would be willing to join her mission. All she wants is to bring glory to her tribe after all. All she wants is to make sure that the Berryinas never ever terrorize their tribes again. So it sounds like a pretty good deal to Comet right now. But it is awfully interesting that Clownkoi has made his way over here. That's probably the very same one that Celestine was looking at. Actually, I wonder if she spooked it off, or if she sent it off with another message. Is she actually trying to reach you right now, Romeo? Interesting. Maybe she's worried that you're going to get yourself into trouble. It doesn't look like Nickole can really reach anything over here, though. She could maybe come over here to grab a few berries. Yeah, I guess just for the sake of having something for her to do, let's have her jump down here to grab this berry for us. That gives the Clownkoi a little bit of time to sweep away before she comes back. So we should be ready to skip the turn one last time. Let's go ahead just to make sure once more the borders are still secure. And it looks like it's getting pretty hot again too. Probably the perfect time for us to consider moving on. In fact, there are certain creatures in this tribe who would probably benefit in the Deadly Hills, just because it would give them all of their energy back. For example, Sheba back here, who finally has her third and final gem, but she's too tired to even use it. So as we have her stumble her way into the shade of the tree, I wonder if Nickole would take this as her chance to jump in and sweep Sheba off her feet too. She might grab those 2 extra berries from the shriveled up berry bush and pass it delicately into Sheba's nimble fingers. Can you imagine a place far, far away from here, filled to the brim with grasslands, and a savanna in sight? You won't have to worry about the stifling heat where she's planning on going. You'll have full control over every last one of your gems, and you'll be able to prove yourself with that big Berryina claw of yours. How interesting that almost every single creature she meets seems to have that claw. I wonder if she resents the fact that she wasn't born with one herself. That she could be considered so weak in her family's eyes. If word gets out to Baron about her plans, you know that he's going to try his best to stop her. He still believes that his little baby girl is meant to do such great things. But surely it must be on this island. Surely she's meant to keep the tribe safe with her prophet's powers. And surely she would never ever go back to that awful place that they escaped. He's still convinced that they'll only find death if they stay here. So in the next episode, I wouldn't be surprised if there is a little confrontation between father and daughter. But I'm also hoping that we can leave this island for good. Nickole has worked hard to convince her strongest tribe mates that this is going to be for the best. So we'll just have to wait and see if they believe her. Celestine, meanwhile, is the only one that she hasn't spoken to directly. So I wonder what's going to be the thing that pushes Moon Eye's champion to leave. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!